The Epstein files, still not released. We're going to do our best not to make this a political discussion, but rather base it on the legal aspects of what's going on, the documents that haven't been released, what's been said about documents that can be released, and where we're sitting right now with respect to this massive issue. Regardless of who's involved, what we know about what occurred with Epstein, his girlfriend Giselle, the island, the plane, the things that we know to be true are awful. Multiple women, young women, children basically, and dozens, if not more than that, taken advantage of and so much more. We have to be respectful of that. But we also have to talk about the fact that this is something that's been percolating for years and years, right? And you've got these two political parties fighting over it for years and years. And still the public, we don't really know.
All right, politics aside, how many people out there think that the Epstein list is the same list as the Diddy list? What do we think here?
I would imagine there's some crossover. I would imagine there's some crossover on the clientele.
We never got the Diddy list.
We never got the Diddy list.
Now we're fighting over the Epstein list. Trump did run his campaign on releasing the Epstein files. I want them released. I want to see who's on there. And quite frankly, if politicians in Hollywood and famous actors or I don't care, influential people are going to...
What about your favorite ball player and your favorite team?
Guess what? If my favorite ball player, who is Derek Jeter, was on that plane...
Not Derek Jeter, but let's go with somebody today that can make an impact. What about Patrick Mahomes?
If Patrick Mahomes is on that plane with Jeffrey Epstein, he's probably like 12 when that plane was flying.
He might be one of the kids being taken advantage of.
If he was on that plane taking advantage of young ladies, well then he should be locked up and I don't say burned at the cross because that's a little aggressive, but he should be locked up and exposed and thrown in jail or whatever the case may be. Obviously, a lot of debate here. Democrats are yelling, release the list, you ran on this, now you're lying. Trump is saying, oh, the Democrats are making a big deal out of it. I want to know what's on that list. Personally, I want to know what's on the list.
I think it takes out everybody. I really do.
Good.
But what's the problem with that?
Good.
What's the problem with that?
No, there's no problem with that. I think the thing is, I think this is the issue. You get the list released with the names.
Yeah.
Are these people that are on the list, did they engage? Did they commit crimes? We don't know that. That's the problem. Just because you're on the list doesn't mean now you're going to be blackballed and blacklisted if you didn't do anything wrong.
Well, that's a big part of it, right? The flight log list may have dozens of names on there where people did fly to Epstein's island.
It's not a crime going to visit somebody.
It's not a crime to go to visit him, but were there young girls being taken advantage of on that time?
On the plane. Were they on the plane? Did you see anything?
Forget about on the plane. You show up, you get on the plane. Donald Trump's on that plane with Jeff Epstein talking about financials or whatever the case may be, whatever this guy did. We know he's a multi-billionaire, right? He flies to Epstein's island. He sees young girls. Does he get on the plane and get in hightail out of there? Does he report it? Does he not see anything? That's the problem here. And I think that's where people may or may not get exposed. But the reality is that what's the proof? Where's the evidence?
Well, and that's what we need. We need, in addition to the flight logs, we need the entire file, right? The whole campaign, right? And for years and years and years, you had a lot of yelling about, one side is doing this and we want the files released, and now that party in power has the ability to release them, after having run a certain way, and literally within a month after coming into office, you had Republican senators standing on the steps of the White House holding up, the list that they claim they got. Well, we still haven't seen it, and now we've got our president saying it's a Democratic host. So,
I thought we weren't making it political.
No. Let's make it political. Who cares? Let's get the opinions out there.
But I think the point ultimately is, who cares if there's a ton of Democrats on there? Who cares if there's a bunch of Republicans on there?
Yeah.
It's an awful situation that happened, and it's become a political thing. It's become a massive issue, in our country, and you can't just not release them at this point.
But Epstein killed himself already.
So?
He stabbed himself in the back, threw himself off of a roof. Those are references to if you see and analyze this, analyze that.
Yeah.
The guy committed suicide.
Yeah.
He stabbed himself five times, shot himself.
Listen, I want to see what's going on with this Jeffrey Epstein list, but there has to be concrete evidence. And
was he murdered or did he commit suicide?
He definitely committed suicide, but that's
what do you think,
Josh?
Your opinion.
I don't think it's beyond the pale to say that he was murdered. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I don't know.
I don't think they did.
I think You don't know.
I listened to Kash Patel. He said that. Anyway, we'll talk about the video.
What did he say?
He said that he said he's been in that penitentiary before. He's in solitary confinement. It would be borderline impossible for this guy to be killed and not see someone go in and out of that cell at that time. He said he was a prosecutor, public defender, I'm sorry if that's wrong. But he said he's been in that jail cell before. He knows exactly what it is. And the camera footage, he wants to make sure that the camera footage is second by second because he doesn't want to release something with there being a glitch in the camera footage and then that becoming a conspiracy. But back to the Epstein list, right? I mean, whether or not Trump ran on releasing this file, it's my opinion that he has to do his due diligence. You can't just willy-nilly hold up a list and say, I'm going to release it with no context. I think it's irresponsible of him not to make sure that the list shows some sort of guilt between whoever's on that list.
What?
Personally.
Question.
Yeah.
Respectful question.
Yeah, respectful.
What about the list that he gave to the sitting U.S. senators?
Yeah.
And that they were holding up as basically a trophy and saying, now we're going after these people.
Yeah.
Should we at least have that? Should we at least have what they were given at a minimum for the moment while this due diligence is occurring?
I think that if they were to go after anybody on this alleged list, allegedly, right? No, it's not allegedly, but there was a list, right? That's not in dispute that there wasn't a list, but if there's people on there, what is the criminal liability or what's the criminal aspect to each person on that list? So handing over a list of 400 people that have been on these flight logs, probably more, where's the criminal investigation start and end? And I wouldn't want Trump to release this list with a whole bunch of names on it if there wasn't any sort of proof that these people were criminally charged.
Right.
Whether they're Republicans or Democrats, or I'm sure Trump was on that plane.
You can ruin a person's life just because they flew on a plane and maybe didn't do anything. And that's what I would be concerned with, because I think just guilt by association is what's going to happen with this list, rather than let's find out what really happened and
sure,
get to justice.
Yeah, you have CEOs of corporations, you have political people, you have famous people, you have people of influence.
You have Kevin Spacey. You have Kevin Spacey, right? Actor, Hollywood.
Well, he's had his own criminal
He's had his own
problems.
issues, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
so.
But he made a Twitter post or an X, whatever you call it, post the other day, basically saying, my name's on there because it's been leaked. Like, there's a couple people who've been leaked, as associate, or maybe his name's not on there, but he's been leaked as being associated with it. So you've got people who are being questioned as being associated with it already without having a concrete list. And he's saying, release the files because my name's not on there. So I want
Spacey's saying his name is on the list, but it's not on the list?
No, that people say it's on the list, right? It's
Speaking
a rumor, and he's saying
Spacey.
no. He's saying no, it's not on the list. So I want it released. So this goes both ways, because you've got so much going on now with this, where people
like
are saying
Kevin
just because there's a picture floating around with somebody and Epstein saying, oh well, you must be on there, you must be involved, and so people who are not involved want the list released to clear their own names. So as much as I care about the people
Kevin Spacey's name is not being cleared, no matter what.
As much as I care about the people who are on the list and not involved in criminal issues, you've also got a bunch of other people who are being implicated without the list being released. I care about them too. So the file needs to be released. I'm not sure what due diligence we want. I don't know if we want people redacting names. Why would you want the names redacted?
You know what I want? I want a better season 5 of House of Cards with Kevin Spacey alive, not killed off because of allegations at that time.
Yeah,
that show was great and it sucked at the end. And Netflix, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
All my money back for that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was the best show on TV.
Good transition. Rich, tell me what you think about the Epstein files, real quick. Release? Don't release?
I said I would be cautious about releasing it, because you're going to blackball people just because their name could be allegedly on there, and it may be a forged document too. I mean, listen, I think there's a lot of heat that's going to come out with releasing it. And maybe you release it, but you do it in a safe way.
Just to circle back regarding the due diligence aspect of the release of the Epstein files, so much fake news out there. We don't know who's credible, who's not credible. AI is out there. They could generate lists. They could generate images. We've seen videos. Me and my son watch some crazy animal AI videos every night before bed. You never know what's going to happen with AI and fake news and whatever the case may be. So understanding the release of these files and the due diligence that goes into it is extremely important. We don't want two different lists to go up on CNN, Fox News, Joe Rogan, and whatever else podcasts or
Liver
blogs
King.
are out. The Liver King. We don't want Liver King going out. He's definitely on the flight. He's definitely on the
He's
plane.
on there. He's on there.
If he was cool enough to get on that plane, he's on the plane. We don't know how to authenticate this list. We want to make sure that when the news does get released, it's valid. All lawyers involved follow the process, follow the chain of custody of evidence, make sure that this is real and authentic before anything's released, because we don't want to cause chaos and hysteria. All right, this is like yelling fire in the movie theater. So,
Well, on Legally Raw, we want to be accurate with what we say, and we want to make sure that we're not throwing out allegations against people that shouldn't.
anyway, let us know your thoughts on the Jeffrey Epstein list. Should Donald Trump use his executive powers and release these files? Do you care about who's on this list? Should they all be thrown in jail? Let us know your thoughts. Click comment below. Tune in. Hopefully this
Nancy
list does get
Pelosi may
released.
be on that list.
I hope she
Good.
is. I hope she,
Good.
I hope
Let
she
him-
is.
I hope all of them
AOC.
are on it. Good.
Listen, I don't care who's on the list.
Good.
I
I
think
don't care.
I hope they're all on the list. I hope they're all taken out of power.
Correct.
I hope all of their fame
Shouldn't be
is
political.
stripped away. You know what I'm saying? And if you lose some fame, you know what? Listen, famous people do bad shit all the time.
What if Michael Jordan and Derek Jeter on that list?
Then you know what? Shame on them. Then they're not the
Who's your favorite
Wait,
idol
then they're
growing
not the
up?
idols than I thought that they were.
Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan, Brett Favre. That's it.
Well, Brett Favre has his
Brett
own
Favre
legal
has his own
issues.
problems.
Yeah, he probably was on
we
that
know how you
plane.
feel
But
about
Brett Favre. He was a great football player. What issues?
Yeah. Anyway, insurance fraud.
Should have
Yeah.
said.
Allegedly.
No, not
No, that
allegedly.
wasn't
That
alleged.
wasn't
That was
alleged.
proven.
Guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not allegedly.
Not
Guilty.
allegedly.
What was it, like a Medicare scam?
He's got Parkinson's, the poor guy. Leave him alone.
Poor guy. Yeah. You would say that.
He does. He's got Parkinson's.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Well, I feel bad for him. I hope you heal, Brett. Anyway, tune in. Let us
Should've
know what
won
you think
that
about the
second Super
Epstein.
Bowl. The Saints.
Oh my God.
Ripped them
Tune
off.
in. Let us know what you think about the Epstein files. Release or
Not release.
not release.